Do you think like being a child of privilege is what led you to kind of like this like expression that you're doing?
Let's go.
Hey guys, you already know what it is. Before we get into it, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is a VPN provider which allows you to easily surf the web with security and privacy. But the coolest thing to me, and one of the reasons I like to use VPN services, is it allows you to change your location to anywhere in the world with just a couple clicks. That way you're not bound by your location's internet restrictions. For example, the Netflix in the UK might have some different shows that you don't have in the US and vice versa. But by going to surfshark.com/Maddy, you can download Surfshark, and with just a couple clicks you can change your location to the UK, and that way you can access their version of Netflix. Or another good example is whenever you try to go watch a certain YouTube video and then you get that message that says this video is not available in your country. Same thing, just a couple clicks and now all of a sudden you're in Germany and this video is now available to you. There are no borders online thanks to Surfshark. And all the while, your data is being protected. And unlike many other VPN providers, they do not track and sell your data. Way before I ever partnered with Surfshark, I'd been using VPN providers, and I would encourage everyone to be doing the same. And I know for a lot of people that aren't as tech savvy, VPNs sound kind of scary and complicated, but I promise you it's super simple. It is literally just a couple taps. And with so many VPNs out there, why not choose one that has tens of thousands of positive reviews and one that supports some of your favorite creators like me? So try it for yourself by going to surfshark.com/Maddy to get started today with 4 extra months free. That's surfshark.com/Maddy. And now, onto the video. Hi guys, welcome back to Give It To Me Straight. I'm your host, Maddy Morphosis, and no, you do not need to adjust your phone screens because, as you may have noticed, the set does look a little bit different today, and that is because this is the first of many episodes of Give It To Me Straight that is going to be filmed at our new LA location, thanks to our partnership with Mom. And joining us for our premiere episode in LA is Mom's very own Meatball.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Good. I was about to say, like, thank you for coming, but this is where I'm in your home.
I
right
mean,
now,
yeah, I just
so.
walked across the hallway, and
Yeah,
here we are.
I came to my own show.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Oh, well, welcome to Give It To Me Gay. It's my show.
Is that the rebranding? Just scratch that out. We're getting the sign fixed.
I just love that you said that don't adjust your telephone screen.
Yeah, I feel like telephones is like the default viewing experience because like most of my audience are like 13 to 25.
Okay, that's a great demographic to have.
Yeah.
Young, horny.
Mm-hmm.
I watch it on my TV. I watch it real big.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because you have astigmatism. You got the cataracts.
Can't see anything.
Yeah.
Can't drive at night.
Yeah.
No, I love this show. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so nervous. When you asked me to do this, I was like, oh God, what is she gonna dig up? I've lived a million lives.
Yeah, no, well, like on the show, like I try to like deep dive, but I try not to get anything too crazy. So like no mugshots today,
Good,
no,
because that one got
arrest records.
expunged. Okay.
Yeah,
And I didn't assault the officer. I just slapped his hand away from my drink.
they're so dramatic.
I know. But I mean, what is an 18-year-old supposed to do when you're drinking on the street? Not hit a cop?
I thought this was America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to be a proper country.
Like, we arrest people for assaulting police for underage drinking. Like,
Who are we?
yeah. I should elaborate. In addition to filming episodes here in LA, I'm still gonna be filming episodes at home, but now we have 2 locations to provide more opportunities and more guests.
That's
So,
cunt.
yeah.
2 studios.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like the way this one's set up because like the walls are shaped a little different. I'm probably gonna copy and paste this over to my house.
Okay.
Feels yeah.
And they got is it the same fur?
The same fur. Yeah.
That's wild.
So, yeah, I'm not the only one with Joanne coupons, apparently.
Ah!
The sign's not neon, but that's okay, though. You get the same effect.
Yeah,
Just imagine.
it feels neon.
We'll fix it in post. But yeah, new changes, new beginnings. We got new microphones here. We're testing these out for the first time, but I imagine they're probably going to be a lot better quality. So I'm probably going to have to, up the quality at home as well. But,
Just lower this quality down. You know what I mean?
Oh, I should have brought my microphones and just like meet it in the middle. Just like really like bring down the quality of Mom's like production, just like
Mom's production. This empty room. Wait, are you excited about being here at the Mom Studios?
This feels like this is, I did that first year and then most of the second year is already done. And this feels like season 3 is starting now. Like this is big changes are happening. Characters are going to
Yes.
die off.
Well, you are in the company wig. This wig has
I
been worn
am.
by Willem, Alaska, me multiple times.
Yeah.
Delta work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it feels fitting that you're in it here.
It feels right. It feels correct.
Now, what do you do with all the wigs when you're copying someone else's wig? Like the Alaska wig.
Mhm.
What are you going to do with that?
It's just sitting somewhere. It's just sitting in the garage. I don't know if I'll ever use it again. Maybe I'll do like an Alaska number at some point.
Okay, yeah.
That's why like a lot of like the illusions stuff I do. If I can find like the worst wig someone wore or a look they did in like a flat wig, the more Amazon I can get with it, the better, because then I can just, one-time use and then just
return it.
No, but today we're gonna talk about you, and we're gonna have a good, clean episode, YouTube monetized episode of Give It To Me Straight with Miss Meatball. Censor that.
And blur this too.
But yeah, as I said, we're going to have a good, clean episode, despite the fact that you are a connoisseur of filth, like the filth of all things drag. Like, I've been to, like, edgier drag shows before, or what Arkansas considers, like, edgier drag shows. But I feel like your show, you invited me to host one of your shows over there, and that was the first time I saw a drag show where people were eating hot dog jello out of another person's.
Yeah, I do remember that was kind of an iconic one when you were there. You got to see anal hot dog, which is the closest thing we've ever had to that was in New York. We did a show where Evie Oddly stuck a meatball up her butt and then pooped it out and then ate it. So I think, you probably saw the second best show.
Second best show.
How did that feel?
It was an experience. Was
it gross to you?
I think what happened is that it was so beyond anything that like I would have comprehended at like a drag show or like expected or fathomed, that like it didn't register as gross, and more so like when a dog is confused and kind of cocks its head. I felt more like that.
It's like shocking. Because what's wild is I love seeing the faces of the people that just come to precinct on the night of Fat Slut and don't know exactly what's going to happen. It's always just like sexy food eating competition, third act. Stick around until midnight and you'll see like a fun show. And it's usually bachelorette parties or like large groups of women that just like want to go to a gay bar and feel safer.
They just Google drag show LA and
and it's like that pops up. Or it's just like if they're staying downtown for a convention. Precinct is pretty much the only gay bar downtown, so that's where they're gonna go. And I don't think that they're ready. I've seen multiple groups of women like cover their mouths and just beeline it out because they're like, "Oh, I didn't come here to see neck. I didn't come here to see someone eat raw egg."
Neck.
Cleavage. You know when like you just see just the shaft but no head.
The shaft but no head.
Yeah, of a neck.
Oh,
neck of
oh, makes sense. Makes sense.
Cleavage.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna have to bleep all that, huh?
Yeah, probably, but it'll.
Neck. You know what I mean?
Like you're from Mars Attacks.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, it's just a fun, gross. I think that the idea of the show was just to be like, not to just be like, this is the grossest thing possible, but also like it was like to celebrate fat people having fun. And now the whole party is just like, not just about fat people, it's just about like everybody having a good time and like body positivity for everybody, no matter their gender or sex or size or whatever.
See, like all the conservatives on YouTube that are talking about like we're embracing fat people too much, we're celebrating it, we shouldn't be celebrating this. Maybe they're onto something because you give the big girls an inch, they take a mile.
Oh, then they do.
They're eating jello out of each other's.
Absolutely. I always say the night of Fat Slut, I do not I do not trust the tensile strength of the pillars holding up the building because Precinct is on the second floor and there's a lot of big fat bodies in there.
I don't know, but I mean, it hasn't crashed yet, so someone up there is looking out for you.
Jesus, you know what I mean?
It's like Precinct is a blind spot to the Lord. So he can't see. He has like a cataract right there. He can't see it.
Can't see it. Just like me. Can't see anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Precinct is like, I think they get away with a lot of stuff. Maybe.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that most bars probably wouldn't allow.
Yeah. No. That's the only thing I've seen like that at a drag show, and I've traveled around a little bit. The only other thing I saw similar to that was I was at Poo Poo Platter for their last show in Austin, Texas.
Oh, yes.
And Pudding was there, and she pulled out popsicles and I don't know how to say this.
She packed that fudge.
Yeah. And then she had another guy come up and did it for her, and
And then doesn't usually that
The
person
number went on
eats
for a
it
lot.
out of there? Yeah.
Yeah, he ate it out of there. She was eating it. An audience member ate some of it.
She did that number at Fat Slut when we did it in San Francisco, and it truly blew my mind. I had never seen anything like that. So then I had her do it again in LA, and the only other time something like this has happened was when Charlene got fully nude on the stage, which isn't allowed. And Charlene...
That's where we draw the line.
That's where we draw the line, is fully nude.
Yeah.
And the manager, while she was sticking one of the popsicles up, comes running up, trying to like get her off the stage or like close the curtains. And I blocked the way. And I was like, it's only 1.5 more minutes. It'll be fine. The cops aren't going to come in the next 1.5 minutes. And she finished that number, and there was just fudge dripping down the back of her legs. It was like all over the stage. It's the most foul number I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. It's a lot to process
And
because
when do you
no
think-
one warns you.
Go
you know?
vanilla. Why would you go chocolate?
I think it just adds to like the filth of it. Just like there's like brown coming from there. I think it just like it adds extra little something. You know?
Poop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bleep that.
Yeah, no, that'll be a lot of censoring.
Okay,
on
that's
this
the
one.
last one. I won't do it again on purpose.
Well, we'll see. You know, we got more cards to go, so we'll see what happens.
There's a lot of words on that card.
But like with the shows, has you ever seen anything that went like too far, other than like getting nude on stage and stuff like that? Is there anything you've seen, like not just for a show, but drag queens in general, where you're just like, this is a little bit too much even for me? Where's your line?
The line was, I hosted Fat Slut in Austin, Texas, and Louisiana Purchase, famously from Poo Poo Platter, did a number where and my parents were there, because my parents are from Texas. So they came out to see the show. They had never seen me host a show in drag. It was like their first time. So of course Fat Slut was probably not the best thing to have them at. But she did a number where she had on like a fake lower half, and she spread peanut butter on it, and then like did the splits and had a guy in a pup mask come lick it off. And it was just, that was where I drew the line, because I was like sitting next to my mom watching it happen, and my dad was having the time of his life. He was like clapping and cheering, and I was like, these are not the Christian people I thought they were. And my mom was like, it's so fun to be here. So I think that was it, because I was really uncomfortable about it, but they didn't seem to care. But I was bothered by it.
Interesting.
Also, anytime...
Do you think you're more bothered just because of the fact that your parents were there? Do you think that was like the subconscious? There was like that weird...
Yeah, I think it was like, these people changed my diapers. Like, I don't want them to see this. You know what I mean?
You felt Christian guilt for the first time.
I did.
Yeah.
I feel like, I shouldn't have exposed my parents to like this level of insanity. And then, of course, they stayed for the sexy food eating competition where like people were putting pickles in their butt, and like it was just wild. And my mom, at the end of it, or the next day, we went out for brunch. And she was like, does anyone ever get an infection from this party? And I was like, I don't know. It's none of my business. I'm leaving town today. I'm so happy about this leg. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll put extra wide shots on here for your gentleman caller.
Thank you. Yeah, I was telling you, there's a man that only wants pictures of my legs. He does not want nude photos of my body. He just wants pictures of my legs. So I make my trainer take pictures of my legs when we're working out, or I'll go home to a full-length mirror and pose seductively with my legs.
Do you think it's because like he thinks you have like really nice legs, or is it just that's the part he can tolerate?
He thinks that I have very nice legs, but I don't think he likes the rest of my body. And he's made it very clear to me that he will not be sucking my toes.
Interesting.
You ever had your toes sucked?
I'm straight. I'm not a Mormon. The fuck? Anyway. But like you're talking about your parents were going there, but like in an interview you did in like 2016, you said that your parents didn't know like how filthy like your drag was. Is that not the case anymore? Did they witness you partaking in the filth that night?
Well, I famously don't do anything filthy on the stage.
You're just like the ringmaster.
I like create the ambiance and I host the show, but and I make the jellos, so I am a part of that. Like I make all the jello molds and make all the food, so that's really fun. But
you're just like an accomplice to it. You have plausible deniability.
Exactly, and I also think that someone's got to be in charge.
Yeah, you're just a filth ally.
Yeah, ally. So yeah, I think now they maybe have an idea of like the level of filth that I'm like willing to do, but again, they don't listen to my podcast, so they don't really know like anything about my sex life or anything like that.
What, like, if you had to guess, what do you think is the image they have in their head of like, oh, our son's doing a drag show? Like, what are they picturing in their head, do you think?
Probably just lip syncing and pointing, doing my signature point and move my lips. I think that they think I'm like fun and quirky and like trying to be a comedian, but I'm out here like, give me that hog. I can't say.
Well, bleep. Again, this is gonna have like a lot of bleeps. So what's one more?
You know what I mean? So I don't think that they truly understand the level of like how horny Meatball is.
How starved for attention.
A
for
star for
affection.
attention, horny, always hungry, usually 4 tequila sodas deep.
That's the bio.
Once you hit the fourth
the eHarmony
one,
bio.
that's when you start doing.
But what's the craziest thing you've ever done for a number, other than breaking your hip? Like, what's the craziest thing? Surely something. You've had some like a very eclectic mix of like numbers. In your repertoire.
Oh no! One time, I pulled out a dead fish from my
fish.
bra, and I like started pretending to give it a. That's probably the craziest thing. I went to the Asian market and I went, which of these fish look most like long, thin, like a. And I found 2 of them and I put them in my bras, and then for the rest of the night I stank like fish.
So just the usual. But like,
And
what,
then one
what
time
was what was the inspo for that number? Like, you're just like, I need to go to the market, grab 2 fish, and
I just wanted to be
portray Fuhlaysheeoh.
Have you ever done a number where you're just like, I want to do something that'll just shock for no reason? Like just
No, not
shock
me,
for pure
no.
shock value. And there's nothing quite like pulling out a dead fish. I think I was also inspired because one time when I won the Dragula Bar contest, one of the activities was I had to jump on a trampoline while they poured like a giant cooler of dead fish over me. And then I had to like keep lip syncing while jumping on this trampoline with dead fish.
I feel like there's no other drag queen that is so synonymous with dead fish. It's kind of.
Baby, I'm dead and I'm fish. Okay. Ah!
Well.
Give it to me. Straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can we say fish anymore?
I don't know. I can't. I'm barred from a lot of words. You might be a good
Say
way. Huh?
Say
Season finale.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Season finale.
Do it in this room so I can come watch when it happens.
Yeah. Come live viewing.
I
Advertise it.
shoot off a confetti cannon. I used to be obsessed with confetti cannons. I used to figure out a way to put one in. With
I
what?
thought you were going to say you were obsessed with like the F slur.
Oh, I am
Confetti
too.
cannons. Okay.
Confetti cannons. Yeah.
Why confetti cannons? Like particularly.
I don't. There was just something in my mind. You know.
Someone set one off at one of your birthdays and it just changed you.
It's just,
Like you heard it pop, it's all the confetti, and like you turned slowly. Dreamweaver was playing as you watched confetti fall down.
I just thought it always elevated a number, but now every club is like no more confetti cannons.
I don't think it's ever elevated a number. There might have been one talent, like in a pageant that no one was expecting it, and it was like fun, but I don't know. Unless it's New Year's, like a confetti cannon's got to go. What's something you hate in a drag number? You're like, stop doing that.
Like long intros where the queen isn't on stage.
Yeah.
It happened the other night, and I was literally like, she was just sitting in the dressing room, and I was like, your music's on. And she was like, And I was like, who is this for? There's not a video playing. There's no information happening. It's just like...
Or worse, whenever it's just like a long monologue intro. So it's the same thing, except it's not even fun to listen to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And also, like, spoken word. I love spoken word, but it has to be done in a way where I'm not watching you do, like, a 10-minute TED Talk at me. Like, it should be, like, fun and cut with other stuff.
Yeah. For me, it's words written on the body. Kind of like, we're still doing that.
I mean, I think we're actually done with that, right?
Maybe
no
here,
one does that.
It's still happening. There's some little
I
small
don't like
bars
signs.
and stuff. Signs, yeah.
I don't like, I mean, if you're holding up a sign, no offense to Megami, but also thank you, Megami, because I made a lot of money off that t-shirt.
Yeah, shout out to Mega Amy.
Mega Amy. Yeah, if you're holding up a sign, I'm like, why can you not figure out a way to convey that in your number?
Yeah, show, don't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it just seems like someone has decided to do a number, and then they're like, oh, and I also want to get this message out. And so they just kind of quick to the CVS and get like a...
Yeah, it's like they spelled violence wrong. Like, it's like, okay.
Or sometimes they like write 2 words down, and you're like, what order are you saying these words in?
So don't dead open inside.
Give to it me, or is it what? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, okay, we're digressing.
Yeah,
a little
wait,
too much.
yeah.
We're talking about
Ask me more questions.
We're talking about other people that aren't here
Dig
and
into
aren't
my
important.
past.
Enough about reading poor local girls that are doing their best.
We've all been local girls.
I'm out of town right now. Not to brag.
That is tea.
Yeah. But as I mentioned, you did break your hip before during a drag performance.
God bless.
For those who are unaware of that harrowing experience, could you please explain what happened in graphic detail?
I
please?
was doing a comedy show here at the Orpheum Theater in downtown Los Angeles.
No, not to interject and like judge you too much, but I feel like I haven't seen a number of yours that I would have been like, oh, she's gonna get hurt, you know. But go on.
You chose violence today.
Misspelled violence.
Misspelled violence. You chose blue eyeshadow and violence.
Violins are
Violins. Okay. I used to pre-breaking my hip.
Mm-hmm.
I could do tricks. I could do cartwheels and like almost the splits. You know, the split fake. You bend that back knee right before you touch the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was a lot more of like an active performer, but now like if I wear heels too long, I can feel that my hip hurts. But anyway, I was performing this comedy number. And it was to I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. This was back again long ago when we were making She Was Alive and we were making jokes, I believe. Or maybe she would. I don't think I would have done it after she died.
Maybe.
Sure. And it was the song would speed up as I was doing the and then it would like kind of repeat and we'd go back and forth in it. So I was like running around. And I went to go do this cartwheel, and I kind of slipped, and the stage was just a platform on the stage because it was like set to look like a brick comedy show thing. And the platform kind of shifted, and I went down, and I broke my hip. And when I tried to get up, I couldn't walk, so I fell back down. And at that point, I started screaming, "Help! Help! Help!" But the song was playing I Want to Dance with Somebody, like sped up. So they just started laughing at me.
Oh, they said
because
like
they thought it
bit.
was they thought it was part of the joke. And then finally, Caitlin Gill, the comedian that had me booked, her and Bobcat Goldthwait were both like, "No, this isn't funny." And they were like, "Cut the music." And they came and like picked me up.
Bobcat was hosting it?
Yeah, Bobcat was the host.
Like, someone gonna help her?
Yeah. Oh my God, he's in the room. No, and they like took me backstage and they called the paramedics, and the paramedics literally were like, "I don't think it's broken. You're fine." But the worst part was they cut up my leg, and I just had brand new pads made because I was in a bodysuit, so they cut through the pads to get to my leg. So when it came time to do drag again,
Basically invasive surgery.
yeah,
They
I mean,
cut
it
through the
felt
pads.
like it. And they cut through all my tights. And so they were like, "Oh, no, it's not broken. You're fine." I'd say just go home, sleep on it tonight. And if it still hurts in the morning, go to the hospital. And I couldn't even walk. So my friend was like, "Let's get you out of your makeup and let's get you on over to the hospital." And then on the way to the hospital, I ate a 200 milligram gummy. And when it came time to get to the hospital and they asked me for my social security number, I couldn't tell it to them. I just started giving them random numbers, and they were like, "None of these are real."
Doing like an interrogation. Like, what do you want to hear?
I know. I shouldn't have gotten high. If you ever get injured and you think getting high will make it better, don't, because it just made it worse. And I just kept having panic attacks in the hospital. And then they had to do a CT scan or some sort of scan where I was like going through a tube, and I'm claustrophobic. So I was high, and they were trying to put me in a tube, and I kept screaming. And then my drag mom came into the room, and she was like, "You're going to have to go in the tube, and you're going to need to calm down." And so instead, they let me do this and hold her hand outside of the tube. And they said, normally people aren't allowed in this room because of radiation. So I could have killed Marta Bichu.
I feel like in the time that I've been on the set today, I've learned about like 5 more elements of yours I wasn't aware of before. Like, can you like list them for like
Can't see.
can't see,
Can't drive at night.
bad hip,
Bum hip. Claustrophobic.
hypochondriac,
Hypochondriac. Alcohol addiction. Well, we don't know about that one yet. I haven't been to a meeting, so we don't know.
Yeah. That's not
Hasn't been
confirmed.
diagnosed.
Yeah, self-diagnosed. She watched a couple TikToks. Now she thinks she's an alcoholic.
Oh, what do you have? Straight.
I don't think asthma. Yeah, heteronormativity. It's terminal.
How do you deal with asthma when you're like doing a show and like you're around a bunch of people smoking?
I mean,
Because they
I don't-
smoke in the bars in Vegas, right?
Yeah. Like I don't really do like that much stuff. I'm just kind of walking around. My numbers are built around like let me do some dumb thing where I'm not exhausting myself. There was before I knew I had asthma, I did a number on like a New Year's show where I was like really moving. I did like a cartwheel, dancing around and stuff.
You can do cartwheels?
And I can
Like straight or bent?
like full on. like Olympic,
Please,
like
we have room in the new
Simone
studio.
Biles. Well, I say that, but like I haven't done it since that show at like New Year's. But like I gave myself,
We'll do cartwheels.
I
In the
gave myself a
driveway
full on
after this.
asthma attack. I went backstage and like I couldn't breathe, and I was like, what the fuck? And I thought maybe my corset was too tight. Took it off, still couldn't breathe, and I was like, that's weird. I feel like I'm gonna die. That's crazy. And I found out like a year later I had asthma.
It took a year?
Yeah, I thought everyone just couldn't breathe like that. I thought that's just what it was.
I knew that I had some sort of like, maybe I have asthma now. I'm a hypochondriac. But I would do these numbers and I'd get off stage and I would just be like, but I also think it might have been that I was just fat and eating on stage.
More than one thing can be true. You know?
You admit you're fat phobic.
No, I'm just realistic. I can see.
Oh my God, you're sick.
But like all the craziness, like being in like Filth and jumping around, going crazy, doing the numbers. Like, were you always like that? Like as a kid, were you like eating bugs on the playground, doing craziness? Like, or were you like different? Like, was it just like watching your first John Waters film and something clicked?
Different.
Yeah.
I was always a weird kid, but I definitely wasn't eating bugs. I did eat rocks. Not chew, but I would find, like how some playgrounds would have like little pebbles instead of, so I would find like the ones that were like white, but like not the rock was white, but like, they're gray, but then they like turn white because of like, I don't know, sand or sun or something. And I would suck that off because it was like savory.
Okay.
And then I would just swallow the rock whole, like the little pebble whole.
like a bird, just like
I don't know. Oh, because
like,
they
swallowing
do eat
rocks for like
to help me
digestion.
digest.
Yeah.
No, but when I was a baby, I would eat handfuls of sand. We lived in Cairo, Egypt, so there was like sand everywhere, much like Vegas. And I would just like grab.
How do the rocks compare?
The sand gave me worms, and the rocks didn't. So
Not the sandworms.
not the sandworms. Yeah, my parents would say I'd shit out these like long ass worms.
But it has like little rocks in it.
But it's sand.
Yeah, so it just looks like those nerds ropes.
But I think I'm just like addicted to eating. Like I think I would just like eat random shit because I could.
Yeah, but like rocks is insane though.
Is that not a normal? Okay, so maybe I was a weird kid.
No,
but I think I was like the kid that always like played pretend and hung out with the girls, and that was just the vibe. Like we would play pretend, run around.
Oh, okay.
And be goofy.
I feel like the kid that eats rocks on the playground isn't the same kid that plays with the girls.
It's not like that's all I was doing.
Well, no,
it's
but
like it was just maybe part of the day. It was like,
which makes you wonder what else you're doing during the day.
Maybe during recess, you get out there, you're playing around, you're thinking, "Ooh, I'm getting a little hungry." You see a rock, you pick it up, you suck it, you swallow it. No one's really seeing you do it, and then you get right back to your activity.
Yeah, but I think it's because of how like flippantly and like casually you're saying it. It tells me that there was crazier things you did without realizing that they were not normal.
Okay, but I don't think that that's weird. I think that is probably a shared. You at home, let us know if you ate a rock.
I mean, I'm sure there's some kid that ate a singular rock, but not like regularly.
I don't know what else to say.
Whenever you get those rocks removed, you're actually gonna be like 150.
They were, this is all just rock.
Yeah, like a little heavy, but it's just rock weight.
I don't do it anymore. It's not like I see a rock on a playground now and I'm like, oh wait a minute, should I?
But do you still like sometimes look at a rock? You're like, let's get a rock.
I don't really see those type of rocks anymore.
Oh.
Maybe like a driveway rock. But I wouldn't. You know what I'm talking about? But no, I don't think I would consider eating a rock again. I've grown out of that. Now I chew ice. I got a Pebble ice machine.
Okay, so it's the Sonic ice just kind of gives you your fix.
I got a whole machine that makes Sonic ice. Yeah. It sits in my kitchen.
Yeah, that part's relatable. Sonic ice. I think most people like Sonic ice, like chewing on ice.
But also, I mean, I go through different phases. So sometimes I have two different types of ice trays in my freezer as well. One of them, because I like the shape, and you could. Oh no. It's like about the rocks. Because you can suck on it until it gets small enough that you can swallow it whole.
See, that's where it
like
differs.
A rock.
Everyone loves chewing on ice. No one ever swallows the pieces whole. They just
Well, I also have this party trick where I wish we had ice here. I can swallow it halfway and then like cough it and like shoot it out.
That's a talent.
I've never done it, but I think I could do it probably with a meatball, like a small one, or a hot dog. But I'm too afraid of dying.
That's valid. But like all there's like people that have been backstage with you, watching you like drink a drink, like chew on the ice, and they had no idea you were swallowing them. Like little do they know, you're just over there just.
I don't. Do you not like that? The feeling of swallowing something hard.
I guess not. Like I don't know. I chew my food.
Okay, next question. I'm done with this. I'm done.
Okay, I don't know. Just
I'm done with this.
I didn't have anything in the cards about rock eating. I'm sorry. It was an interesting conversation. You know,
Should I eat anything else that I shouldn't have eaten?
probably.
No,
But
just
the thing is, like in
sand and
hindsight,
rocks.
you probably just didn't realize it was weird at the time.
Yeah, I'm literally finding it out right now here. So thanks. In my own house.
Yeah, it's cheaper than therapy. Do home visits.
You hear that, Walter?
But as I said,
That's my therapist's name.
Walter. Oh, is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh, you actually do have a therapist. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, could you not tell?
Well, I mean, most men don't have therapists, so.
Man. Wow. You come here straight and then you misgender me? I'm just kidding.
Sorry. Again, like my eyes work.
Is it the leg?
Is it the legs? But talking about your childhood, you were actually a child of adoption. Well, what was Can I ask like what the situation was like with that? Like if you actually knew your birth parents or?
No, I did not know my birth parents. I was adopted like before I was born.
Like, wait, how does that work?
It's a private adoption. So my brother was adopted before me through this lawyer. And my parents wanted 2 kids. And this lawyer was like, hey, there's this girl here who is going to put her kid up for adoption, like public adoption. If you want, you can come meet her and like talk to her and see if you just want to adopt him from her to have 2 kids. And my parents were like, okay, let's do it. So they went over and they signed all the paperwork and all that stuff before I was even born and like told her what to name me on the birth certificate and everything. And then I came out and I was in my parents' arms like the next day.
Interesting. So it's kind of like a Juno situation.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was like that common though. I don't know.
I don't think it is really that common.
Yeah,
I think it was just like a situation where my parents were like going through a lawyer and like an adoption agency. Not like I was never like in like child like orphanage. Do we call it that anymore? The system.
The system. You didn't have to do like the Stuart Little thing.
No, I didn't have to get overlooked.
You didn't have to audition.
No. I do think it might have been a shock when I came out dark because my birth mother is white, blonde hair, blue eyed white lady.
Oh, okay.
And she had a one night stand with a man in Belize.
Oh, okay.
While she was on a cruise.
You're a child of lust.
And maybe that's why I'm so horny. I got these great legs. But yeah. So then 3 days after I was born, I moved to Cairo, Egypt. They gave me all the shots so that the worms wouldn't kill me. And then we went over there. The sandworms.
You came out
not
like
the sandworm.
A perfectly healthy bouncing baby boy with,
I guess, a lot wrong with me. I'm sure this is not what they wanted, but it's like, nah.
You came out with a busted hip, cataracts, hypochondria, oral fixation.
I got the hypochondria from my mom. She's always at the doctor. She's always thinking she's dying.
You're born in Baton Rouge, but you kind of bounced around all over the place. Like you said, you mentioned Egypt. You lived in London for a while because you bounced around because of your dad's job. He was an oil exec, right?
Not exec, but he was engineer at oil thing, and I think he was like lead engineer or something like that.
Oh my god, he's an oil man.
Oil man, Texas oil man.
Texas oil man. Yeah, because you eventually landed in Texas.
Yes,
that part makes sense, I guess. No, think about it. Yeah, you think about that. Texas oil.
That's where it happens.
Black gold.
Black gold. Yeah. Yeah, we ended up in Texas, and Texas is a state here in America, and it's full of people. And it's a place that people live on their own accord.
Cute, like the more you know. The more you know.
I don't love it, but that's where they've ended up. There's fun places in Texas, but I don't think Houston was like for me at that age.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that you started to get a little crazier whenever you moved out of like Texas, because whenever you went to school in Michigan.
Yes.
And that was the performing arts school that you were talking about. So like, what was the beginning of that journey? What was different about living in Michigan that you didn't experience living in Houston?
Well, Michigan, I will say it was the school's called Interlochen Arts Academy, and it was like a high school in the middle of the woods in Traverse City, Michigan, or Interlochen, Michigan, and it's like a vacation town. So there was like really nothing there. But what I did like about being there was that I was being surrounded by like artists and like young people that were gay as well. And like in Texas, I think I was I'm sure there was other gay guys at the school. There was one other gay guy, and he was in choir and I was in theater, and I could not for the life of me find another gay friend.
Oh.
So when I went to that school, it was like wonderful to feel like I could be myself and like actually like grow into who I was. And so there was like a lot of experimenting with like how I'm going to wear my hair now and how I'm going to start acting. And I just want to be me all the time. And so there I felt like I really could. And I was. And no one was saying no. They were like, he's wild. We love it. And so I was just like getting more approval.
They gassed you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They created this
And now
monster.
I'm insane.
Talking about that high school, though, with like the superlatives and everything, you were actually voted most likely to be on the cover of the National Enquirer.
Exactly. They knew I was crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't know what the
And like, sure enough, like you actually were. Like,
oh my God!
things come to fruition. That's so
oh
crazy.
my God! I didn't even think of that. Is so funny.
You did it. For those that may not understand the joke, Meatball went viral for doing a number of George Santos's alleged drag persona.
Alleged. Well, he's admitted to it now. He's dressed up. He dressed up and did a cameo as Chichara Revache. I also I cannot thank Sasha Velour enough for like letting me do that at her show Nightgowns. I was literally like the night before I flew to New York, hot gluing that costume together because I had like come up with the idea the night before and was like making the video, and my ex boyfriend was like, what are you doing, like why are you making new numbers, like you always stress out? And I was like, trust me, I think it's gonna be so funny, or it'll flop so terribly.
No, it's like I think outside of Drag Race you have some of the most viral like drag performance videos, and I think that one is probably the biggest one. Like it was on Jimmy Kimmel, like it was viral everywhere. What was that like for you, like all the influx of like all the eyes and messages? And
I mean I really liked it. I when it went viral, I immediately was like, someone give me a bucket of rocks, I gotta celebrate. No, I was just like shocked that people, because to me it was like, it was sloppy. It was the first time I had actually ever done the number beginning to end. And so I was like just kind of freaking out about it. And I was like, oh, this could have been better. This could have been better. This could have been better. But I appreciated that it was timely, and like, he saw it and talked about it with Meghan McCain and said that I'm his favorite drag queen. So
it's like,
I think he didn't quite get the
quite the endorsement.
I also like, they tried to interview me at Fox News.
Oh,
and they like wanted to do a whole thing. Wait, what?
Did you turn that down, or
I turned it down. I wasn't gonna go on that. No, absolutely not.
Well, you gotta like put a message out there.
You never know. No, because I fear that they would like try to trick you or like do something.
Maybe so.
But
they have that one lady on Fox that's like she's like their devil's advocate. She's always like pushing back against them and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw a clip of that today.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I got a bunch of new followers, and I thought it was really nice to see that people resonated with it and thought it was funny, and then went and watched more of my like older numbers and things that have been on the internet for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You got the endorsement of George Santos himself.
A psychopath.
Your least favorite politician's favorite drag queen.
I really wanted to meet him before he went to prison, but best believe I already have a rhinestone orange jumpsuit ready to go the minute he goes.
I was gonna ask what song you're gonna do, but I want to wait. I'm gonna be surprised, so don't spoil it.
I'm really loving my legs on on my podcast. Sorry to make this about me.
You started the show complaining about the chairs, and now you're like, I love this.
Wait a minute. Well, on mine you never get to see my lower half. You just see waist up, which is also sometimes kind of nice.
Add a third camera that's just like the leg cam.
Like Wendy Williams, like shoe cam.
Yeah, just like a leg cam.
Let's see the shoes.
So did you start drag in New York or LA?
I started it here.
You started in LA.
I started in LA.
Okay, so probably around like 2015-ish or so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that you know the timeline.
Well, I was gonna say like I think you might have actually had like an earlier brush with drag, and I say this with only like not 100% confidence, but I'm pretty sure this is like you circa 2008. This might have been
Oh my
One of
God.
the first appearances of Baby Meatball.
Yes. Oh my God.
What's the context here?
This was when I was at Interlaken and it was Halloween. And
you were a Halloween queen.
I was a Halloween queen, I guess, but there's like no makeup on. You can't really see.
A little eyeliner, more than most
Oh,
queens
is
wear
there?
nowadays.
Okay.
So.
I just remember me and my friend, this is my friend Max.
Mm-hmm.
He still, anytime I'm in New York, he comes to my shows. So he came to Fat Slut a couple months ago, and he came to our live podcast taping. And if you listen to the most recent live podcast taping, he's the one I'm yelling at the whole time to shut up.
Oh, a little lore for people.
Because he was talking a lot.
Was that the one other gay you were talking about that was at that school?
No, this was at Interlaken. This was at the boarding arts high school.
Oh, okay.
This was in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And it was Halloween, and I wanted to wear heels really bad.
You put on your
So I was like, I'll be Batgirl, you'll be Poison Ivy. And he's just in like a green nightie, which is very me now.
your Batgirl is just wearing a Batman t-shirt and like some Batman shorts.
we had to get creative. We didn't
In
have
my
like
day-
a costume shop. We just like ordered the shit off Amazon.
Drag was different.
But
back
I
then.
remember I was in like the shittiest pair of Payless leather boots.
Mhm.
Well, pleather or whatever, and my heels hurt so bad because we were running around on gravel and rocks all over the campus, and I told my friend, it was like, it hurts so bad, my feet hurt so bad I like can't even walk, and they were like, take them off. And that was the first time that I was like, what do you mean take them off? I'm wearing them tonight. Like I stuck it out, and I remember the next day my heels, like the bottom of my heel hurt
flats.
so bad. The heels were flat. They got worn down.
Yeah.
No, my feet hurt so bad for like 2 days after that.
Oh my gosh. And that's why you have plantar fasciitis now. Add it to the list.
No, I got great feet. Okay. People suck on these toes. People suck on these toes. Something you'll never get to do. All right. Should have pedicured before the show.
We'll put a filter on. We'll do a feet cam, but it'll be to like someone else's like legs and feet.
Just Barbies.
Yeah. Can we get a zoom in on those? It's just a Barbie foot.
That would be great.
Yeah. But like whenever you did step out in drag for the first time, because obviously you'd done like a little bit of drag before, and like you started
That
getting
doesn't
interest in
count
drag.
as drag. That counts as wearing. That's CD. You know what I mean?
What is drag if not advanced CD? You know?
CD.
What is CD? Are we humans?
I
Or
don't
are we
know.
dancers?
I don't know.
But like whenever you did get in drag for the first time and like stepping out, like what was it about like performing in drag where you're like, the world needs to see this? Like what was it? Why were you like, this is like, they need some of this. I need to get out there.
I felt so that night.
I think this is the least amount of eyeliner I've ever seen you wear.
I remember that night. Okay, so what happened was my friend Joe used to do my makeup for me all the time.
He do it that night? Or was that your first time?
This was my first time doing it on my own, trying to follow his steps. He would come over to my house every Monday. What happened to that harness? He would come over to the rip in the tights. This is insane. He would come over to my house every Monday. He would paint my face. I would sit in a chair like this, and we would listen to the song I was going to perform on loop. And then he would just go home. He like used to come to the club with me, and then he stopped coming to the club. And then he was finally like, hey, my boyfriend is tired of me never being home on Monday nights. Like, you're going to have to figure this out on your own. And I was like, all right. And this was the first night that I had to figure it out on my own. And I felt, I remember being like, exposed corset, harness, snakeskin. I'm giving. Is this going to be in color for the people?
Yeah.
Because it's brown snakeskin. It's not even like red or like something hot. And then that wig is just like a Santee Alley shake and go. Those lashes. No, let it. Part of the Meatball experience is like just slowly things start to slide open and the wig slowly starts to slide backwards.
Well, I'm like the Protestant Meatball. I'm like the Meatball for a more sensible.
I will tell you, I'm going to
conservative
steal
taste.
that necklace.
Necklace? Oh, you need to. You keep wearing the same one. I was going through your pictures. And I was like,
I will leave.
I was like, the Meatball wear like a necklace, like jewelry and stuff. A double check, and then it was like the same necklace in each picture.
I've been trying to get
It like goes like down and like point into a little
it
point.
goes into a point, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get more jewelry, but I just don't know. As a drag queen,
Yeah.
I just don't know where to get it. I don't know where people buy it. I don't want to get. I don't want to get big custom pieces made because they're like $500, $600, and you get the big old ring and the dangly earrings and stuff. But then it breaks. Like,
Yeah, the pageant girls, drag buyers, or drag swaps on Facebook and stuff.
I've heard about those
Facebook is where-
Facebook groups. Some of my friends post pictures of them being like, "This girl's trying to sell this wig for $300."
Like a lot of people, they're always on this like drag drama on like Reddit, and they're like, "Oh, look what she said on Twitter." Like, no, the real drag drama happens on Facebook.
The Facebook, because those girls fight in those little groups.
Careers have been ruined, friendships have been ruined, people have been gone to jail, all because of Facebook.
Cha-Cha, what's her name? Serena Cha-Cha. Her career got ruined because of a Facebook group.
Yeah. There was like a pageant where the girl stepping down, I guess, wasn't supposed to like leave the state, and a girl who didn't like her called the police, and the police came and escorted her out in handcuffs to jail at her give up.
Did she?
Over Facebook drama.
Did she get to give up?
No, she went to jail. They had to run the rest of the pageant without her. But that's the stuff that happens on Facebook.
I love that.
That's where it's really
That's
at.
the kind of story I like.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, of course, someone's life is ruined, which I don't love.
Right.
But I do think, like, that level of pettiness is absolutely beautiful to me.
Yeah. Over like drag.
And I try to stay out of drama, like, at my old-ass age. Like, I'm not getting into it, but I love to watch from afar.
You're still a connoisseur.
Absolutely. And if something's going on, I am textually getting in there and figuring out who do I know that might know more details. I've tried to get details out of you about something.
Yeah,
once,
you were asking me about like some drama, and I was just like,
I'm staying out of that. And I was like, that's not how this friendship should work, babes.
Yeah, talking about your drag, though, the name Meatball is not the most traditional drag name. Didn't you get that from the people working at a deli in New York?
Yes, indeed. I had some very good friends that worked at the Joe's Pizza that was on the corner of, I want to say St. Mark's Place and like 2nd Avenue. And
That's the thing from people from New York. They just talk about New York like everyone knows, like all the bureaus. And
it was in the
streets
East
and
Village,
everything.
baby. It was in the East Village where I lived. And so me and my friend would walk by. We do say that, though. We'll be like, oh, it's on the corner of 59th and 9th. And like everyone's like, okay, that means nothing to me. But I would go in there all the time, just super wasted. This was when I was like crazy partying all the time.
Meatball subs every night.
And I ate a meatball sub every night, and they started calling me the Meatball King. And then when I started drag, I asked my friends, like, what should my name be? Rebecca, Jennifer, Jessica. And my friend was like, just be Meatball. And I was like, damn, that's great. Absolutely. And then it kind of worked out because when I first started drag at Exposure in Highland Park, there was another queen that had started literally a week before me, and her name was Pickle.
Oh.
So then we started working together, and we called ourselves the Deli Queens.
Oh, cute.
And we were both ugly as sin.
Yeah.
Do you have the picture?
Yeah, that was
her. It was her. Yeah.
I don't have
In an afro wig. I was always in this one afro wig. Speaking about drama, I one time lost that wig, and in the group chat, I was like, someone stole my afro. Because I bought it at the wig shop in Hollywood, where everything's like $300 when it shouldn't be.
Right.
And I got so pissed, and I was so mad, and I accused all these people of stealing the wig, and I went to the club the next morning and made the owner come and open it for me in the morning so I could like search for the wig. And I was like, I want to see the cameras. Who has this wig? And it turns out that I had just gotten so drunk that I stuck the wig into the front, like a giant afro, into the front pouch of my suitcase. So it was flat.
Oh, so it's just like it's just squished in there
It
the
was
whole
just
time.
in my suitcase the whole time. And I had to make an apology video. When you first started drag, not to just interview you, but did you spend a lot of time on the floor?
Like performing?
Yeah.
Oh no, I never did floor work. There was one time, like for like a number, it was like a competition, like a club kid thing, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna gaggle him and I'm gonna do a death drop. But like I didn't want to hurt my head, so I had this giant peacock feather thing that was made out of like pool noodles, and I made sure to drop that down first. So when I flopped, I just landed on pool noodles.
Smart.
And that's the most, and that's why I don't have a broken hip, because even when at my craziest, I always had like an insurance policy.
What was the song? Was it Peacock by Katy Perry?
I think it was "Show Me Love" by Robin S.
What does that have to do with peacocks? Popcorn.
It was just a fun song. It was like Club Kiss. I was like something 90s. Yeah. Yeah, man.
It's like looking in a mirror.
I look like this. I feel like I look like Sabrina Carpenter and Meatball drag right
That is what it is giving. Sabrina Carpenter.
now. Like if they put her in Meatball drag, or whenever she's inevitably on Trixie's YouTube channel, is what she's gonna look like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, a shout out to Chappell Roan and Sabrina Carpenter for getting famous, because now I get favorable comparisons. Because before that, it was just any random, like, flat face, egg shaped head girl or
You
girl with a
could
big
really
nose.
do such a good Sabrina Carpenter.
Thank you.
You should steal the company wig and then make an apology video about it later.
Hey, you know, it's the blueprint is there.
Yeah, just stick it in your suitcase
Yeah,
tonight.
you've heard this
flatten it
story
out.
before. We know how it ends.
And then I tried to wear that wig again after I had flattened it too.
You live and you learn. You know, life is about little journeys. So we're all on them.
Little tiny journey.
Little tiny journeys. Speaking of Chappell Roan, though, against with many accolades and things you've done in life, one of the big things is that you were in the music video for Pink Pony Club years before like she blew up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like what was that like? Did like you just get this random like, hey, we got this artist that wants to make a little music video? Or...
No. Well, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
She had seen me and Pinche, or Dallas now is her name, drag queen. We opened for Orville Peck's first rodeo show here in LA at the Troubadour. And we were actually the first two drag queens to ever perform at the Troubadour. And it was very momentous and it meant a lot to us. And so we opened for that show. We did drag numbers in between his sets with his band. And that was like the first time I had met Orville Peck too, who's like one of my close friends now. She was there at that show and she saw us. And she, after that, was like, oh, I want Meatball in my music video. And then they got Pork Chop as well. I don't know if it was maybe food or I knew she was a fan of Drag Race at the time.
I couldn't get a hold of Pickle.
We couldn't get Pickle, couldn't get Pinche. But yeah, that video was such a fun day to shoot. Pork Chop, so there was no dressing room. We were out in the middle of like nowhere at this bar that they use for, it was a real biker bar. And I had to get dressed in the parking lot because Pork Chop wouldn't let me get dressed in the bathroom with her because they gave us the women's bathroom to get ready in. And of course it was like a tiny bar bathroom and I had a big suitcase. So yeah, I had to get dressed in the parking lot just fully naked in the street and in this like bar. It was very funny. And then we shot and we hung out with her for a little bit and she's like such a sweetheart. And that was that day.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. And she paid me really well. I remember that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought that was very strange because I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Oh, she was like a newer artist at that time too. Like I think she was like still signed to her label at that time, but
that
she wasn't,
song apparently is what got her kicked off of that label. And now it's like one of the biggest songs.
Like you wasted all that money on a drag queen.
And those bikers.
Like, why do we have an invoice?
It was also so wild because like the bikers in that music video are like part of a real bike gang, and I was nervous to talk to them. And of course, Pork Chop was just in the bathroom sitting on a toilet the whole day, and so I was like out in the room,
tipping around
in my little suit. And then I really wish I would have worn something else, but they said just bring whatever. And I opened my suitcase and they looked at it and they're like, wear that. And so I was like, okay, but I really wish I was like in a cowboy outfit. That would have made more sense.
Yeah, hindsight. But
They didn't tell me anything.
But again, like that song, like the music video for that came out 4 years ago, and you know she'd been doing music after that for a while, but she didn't really blow up until like earlier this year. And now that music video has like 14 million views.
And no one knows who I am.
No, but
the Meatball curse.
I'm sure like a lot of people like were hitting like your DMs and messages though, be like, "Oh my
No.
god, I see you in the music video."
Oh yeah, now yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But like, when did you realize that was back on the radar? Did someone tell you like, "Oh, remember that Chappell Roan girl? She's like famous now. She's opening for."
I had been following her since then. Like we chit chat. I've tried numerous times to get her to come do Fat Slut, like actually perform. This was again 4 years ago before she was huge, and she was like, "No, I live in the Midwest. Like I don't live in LA." And I was like, "Oh," and so our timelines never matched up. But so I'd been following her, and then like slowly the new album came out, and she started blowing up, and I saw her do bigger and bigger venues, and I did remember seeing her play in the park here. It was for some
the one where she's like in a little piano.
She's just on a piano, in the park, and like I remember it was just like the opening of, I think it was supposed to be a lesbian bar or something. And it was in WeHo, and me and my friends just went and like watched her perform. I don't know. I've just been kind of following her, but it came back on the radar when I guess she blew up, and everyone started DMing me like, "Is this you?" And I was like, "Yeah, the makeup hasn't changed in 4 years."
Consistency.
Listen, I want to, clowns trademark their faces.
Yeah.
They paint it on an egg, and then it gets put in a museum.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I want that. I want to put my face on an egg and put it in the clown museum.
I can see that.
And then you can sell the face. Like when I die
Mm-hmm.
in 2 hours when I have to drive home in the dark, someone else can just be Meatball.
I didn't know that. It's kind of like luchadors. They have like their trademark masks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They pass them down.
Well, what's his name bought the clown? Can someone do some research? Who's Courtney Cox's ex-husband? David Arquette. He bought a clown's likeness, and now he performs as that clown. Is it Bozo? Yeah, he bought Bozo the clown's likeness, and so now he performs as Bozo the clown.
Huh. Interesting. little fun piece of trivia.
I just think that's interesting. That maybe Meatball could just be another drunk half black guy.
It's just this vessel may perish, but Meatball lives on.
Oh sure.
Yeah. Are you worried though that the next Meatball might not be up to the task?
I guess maybe. I mean, how much can you do? You could be the next me.
Why not?
How many lines can you rail?
I don't know. Well, it's not that. It's just I have a small stomach. I don't know how many rocks it can hold.
Oh yeah, there should be tests.
Yeah.
Just how many rocks?
There's
can
exterminations. Yeah.
Oh no.
Like how's that hip?
Oh yeah, they'd
Functional?
have to do everything.
Yeah.
It's like when Batman gets a replacement. It's like they are traumatized and tortured. They had to watch their parents die as well.
Exactly.
Robin.
I think that's canon. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't all the kids that come to him are like orphans.
You're like the Batman of drag. That's so crazy. Anyway, people say that about you. They say you're like the Batman of drag.
Well, I was Batwoman that one
Yeah,
year.
I think you were the Batman.
There
of
it
drag.
is. Oh my God, it's all coming full circle.
Yes. But Chappell Roan isn't the only person that you've had a brush with celebrities. I think most famously, you received a cease and desist from Oprah Winfrey. Can you run us through why you got a cease and desist from Oprah?
My girl. Well, I'm obsessed with Oprah to begin with. I think she's one of the most unhinged human beings in the world. She has so much money that she doesn't have to think like a person anymore. She just kind of is Oprah. You know what I mean? Whatever she wants, she gets. Whatever she does happens. Whatever she says is on Oprah's wish list is the new hot item. She's crazy. But I got the cease and desist because remember a while ago when she had that Weight Watchers commercial and she was like, I love bread. I love bread. I have bread every single day. And now I can. Well, I did that as a spoken word monologue. And then I also did this famous scene, do you get a car? You get a car. And I would go to this hardware store down the street from me. And I'd be like, hey, can I just buy a bunch of blank keys? And the guy was like, what do you need them for? And I was like, oh, well, I'm doing this number as Oprah and I want to give out keys at to the cars. And he goes, oh, here. And he just gives me a box and he goes, these are all miscut. So I just, for the longest time, had a box that was 12 by 12 of just other people's keys. And I would, whenever I...
keys, this person has habit.
I never used it for what a missed opportunity. No, I would take that box with me, and I would when I would perform that number, I would throw the keys out at the audience, at people, because that was a big thing for me, always throwing. So, and then during the bread part, I would throw bread. So I got a cease and desist because that video ended up on YouTube using that audio, and apparently that audio is copyrighted or something because it's a Weight Watchers thing. So I got a cease and desist from Harpo and Weight Watchers to stop performing that number and using the audio for financial gain.
I wonder how many drag queens have had cease and desist for their numbers. I think you're part of probably a single digit number of drag
Just
queens.
the one. I think it was because it ended up on YouTube and was being watched so much because I don't think the video's up anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you probably didn't have monetization on the video though.
No, it was just on It wasn't even my video. It was Exposure Drag's video, but they got my information.
But despite the legal troubles, you still are an Oprah stan.
Oh, to the day I die.
Why? Just because she's
She's
Oprah.
just not a real person. I want to know. She's not real. Like, I want to know what she's like at home.
Mhm.
Even on her, like, I've scrolled through her TikTok
Mhm.
and it's all just like an imaginary person being like, I got all these vegetables from my garden. And it's like, no, you didn't, Oprah. You had like 4 other people going and get those vegetables from your garden. Also, what's up with her and Stedman? They're like not married,
Mhm.
but they like live on the same compound and he has his own house, but they like are together. Everyone thinks her and Gail are lesbians. I don't even think she likes Gail all that much.
I don't think I'm familiar enough with the Oprah lore to engage.
Well, I will
this
tell
line
you,
of-
when you go home, you need to watch this one video where Oprah and Gail go and they have to like live in this town that's like where they pretend like everything is, I don't know, in the 1800s or whatever. And Oprah just goes straight to camera once she realizes that she's going to like play this character.
Mhm.
She looks at the camera and she goes, I ain't going to be no slave. And I feel like that's the realest thing she's ever said.
Uh-huh.
She's on Ozempic now.
Like-
Enough of me
I feel like
derailing.
people are saying she's on Ozempic, but she's on like something else.
Oh, she
that-
admitted it.
well, I feel like that's like a half truth. Like she's on something else that like we're not privy to. Like
She's on what Christina Aguilera is on.
like some billionaire type stuff.
Speaking of black women,
Sure.
remember when Christina Aguilera used to be black?
Yeah, and Pink. When
And
was
Pink
black.
was black.
Yeah.
What is
That was
what?
not that
Pink is
day.
another woman where I'm like, what are you up to? Why do
Have
you?
you se-
Why must you almost die every night to feel
I saw a
alive?
video like this Scottish person talking about Pink, and it was just like it's like Pink,
Pink,
get down.
get down. Oh yeah,
Get
get down. No reason for you to be up there. It's
Get
just
down.
so insane that like for her to feel like I'm doing a concert, she needs to be like hoisted, strapped, and thrown around.
Yeah. Well, on that note, that is the last of my cards. And last
Oh,
bit of time we have
wow.
Today, but before we go, I did want to give you something for taking your time out and joining me today. As we discussed earlier, you are a huge fan of rocks, so I got you a bag of rocks.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, no, actually, I got you a book.
Oh.
But-
I was like, I'll eat a rock right now. I haven't done
I'll
it
do
in
it.
years, but I'll eat a fucking rock.
This is, you've been through a lot of trials and tribulations through your life. And so I
Traumas.
got you a book, The Art and Science of Getting Happier, Build the Life You Want by Oprah Winfrey. so you can live the life that she does,
Oh my
hopefully, or
God.
some amalgamation, some semblance of it.
This is crazy. I'll probably read this. You know,
Mhm.
my life isn't $30.
I didn't pay
She
$30.
doesn't need the money. This book should be $15.
I don't know. It's Oprah, though. She deserves it. I think it's like healthy in society. Like we don't have like kings and queens anymore, but now we just have celebrities that we give all the gold to, and it's just like we choose and pick those people as like a collective.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like a little more democratic and a little more unhinged.
'Cause
But-
I'm
but
like-
less consequential.
oh, sure. And I'm like down with the billionaires, but like I'm okay with Beyonce being a billionaire. And I'm okay with Rihanna being
Yeah.
a billionaire. But the rest of them, Bezos, I don't want it.
Yeah,
That's why I return ratty wigs.
because we as consumers we get to choose our billionaires.
Yes. And I did buy that Beyonce whiskey, and it was $90.
Was it good though?
It's pretty smooth. Goes down smooth.
So outside of sitting at home reading your new book, where can people find you? Do you have any like special shows coming up or any events happening? You obviously hosting Fat Slut.
Yeah, Fat Slut at Precinct every third Friday if you're in LA. Sloppy Seconds, the podcast here on the Mom Network. Welcome. Comes out every Tuesday, Friday. And if you're in New
You
York.
put out 2 episodes a week? It's that often?
Yeah, Tuesday, Fridays.
Oh my gosh! I'm
Tuesdays is just the two of us talking, and then sometimes a friend calls in. And then Fridays is when we interview somebody.
oh my gosh! I get stressed out. I'm like 1 every 2 weeks is all I can do. So I don't know.
Well, you're also doing all the editing and everything on your own, aren't you?
Yeah.
So
Maybe
that's hard. And there's like 3 people that work with us that like do the editing. And
I suppose so.
yeah, we
don't
have
know.
a producer. You do it all yourself. You are the producer. And if you're in New York on October 19th, when is this coming out?
Probably next week.
If you're in New York on October 19th, come to the New York Food Week Disco with me, Neil Patrick Harris, David Burtka, and Jimbo the Drag Clown, where we will be having a wonderful time.
You're doing like a drag thing with Neil Patrick Harris?
Yeah, I've worked with him before. He's real nice.
What is your life is so crazy? Maybe is it just because you live in LA, or is that just you like getting all these like things?
I think
I feel like sometimes I see a lot of like LA girls. I'm like, how
I
did you
think
get
it's
that?
because
But with you, like you are on everything.
I think that a lot. I think it's because I'm cheaper than a Rue girl.
Okay.
And I think they go down the list, and all the Rue girls are like, "Oh, I'm not."
It's like an Excel spreadsheet, and they just like get down to the number that
And
they
then
it's
they're
like agreeable, and it
"Oh,
always
I
lands on
guess
you.
that's Meatball." Yeah,
Yeah.
I truly feel like it's just part of being in LA. But this again is in New York, and I think he hired me because I was on his Hulu show, Drag Me to Dinner, and I was a complete nightmare on that day on set. And by nightmare, I mean very fun, loud person to be around. And I think they want to hang out with me again. And I'm trying to. Okay, Neil.
Oh my goodness, his kids might be watching this.
Oh, I forgot they have the children.
Yeah, they have the kids now. So, but are your socials the same?
No. On Twitter, I'm Fat Drag Meatball. On Instagram, I'm Spiciest Meatball. On TikTok, I'm Meatball the Drag Queen.
Oh my gosh.
And my home phone number is 713-5. Should I give out my number for people who want to see my legs?
That's up to you.
Thank you so
Girl.
much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for like coming out and helping us ring in the new set, the LA studio, and christening it, as it were. Oh, you take stuff. I don't own most of the things here, so this is.
Yeah, I just move it over into the other studio, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Great, we have to move it back."
This picture frame is the only thing I brought. Everything else.
Oh, that's the sign that we've been going to.
Let's take a break.
And on that, let's take a break.
Yeah. On that note, that is end of this episode. Thank you for tuning in, and you can find me right here. Maybe not in LA, but on the YouTube channel at Maddy Morphosis Official. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Why am I plugging it like it's a different channel? You're already on it. You can find me right here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode or any upcoming guests. And join us next time whenever we have somebody else.
Who's next?
We don't know yet. It always changes. I don't want to say anything because then we'll lose the footage and it'll be a whole thing again. But yeah, till then, bye guys.
And thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring this episode. Make sure to go to surfshark.com/Maddy to get started today for 4 extra months free.
Let's go.
My
No one
setup.
ever on my face anymore. What were you gonna say?